You guys are going to be using is a thermal imaging camera. So why would we want thermal imaging inside of a ghost hunt?
So we can see like energy or like
What kind of energy?
evil energy.
Evil. Wow. Just tell us how you really feel, buddy. Don't hold back. So we're looking for cold spots, guys. Come on.
Obviously, that's what I meant.
Wow. I think that's the first time I've ever heard that one. We're looking for evil demonic spirits. So this is a FLIR camera, so this is the real deal. This is not a phone app. There's an app to run the camera, but it is not like something you guys can download. So obviously you should be able to see me, red, orange, and yellow, right? You're looking for blue and black. Those blue and black spots should either start moving on their own or to take shape on their own. There's also a blue dot bouncing around the screen to show you the coldest spot in the frame at that particular moment. So I'm looking for 15-degree plus temperature drops based off of our ambient temperature of about 55 to 56 degrees. So we're going to be looking right around the 40-degree mark or colder. So again, it's there to help guide your eye when you get your video back. So I only spot check these things. Remember, like, there's 4 of you here. London's going to be doing a few things for us. So you're probably going to have a good 6 to 7 hours worth of media. I'm not going to go through every single piece of your media. I only spot check it for about 2 hours. The rest is up to you. That's half the fun of this, is discovering more. So I'm actually going to stop this video. And then London, if you want to help them out at first, just kind of, since it's an open air one, and kind of give them a gist of like what you're hearing out of it, since you have a little bit more experience. Have you ever used a spirit box before? Sorry, I just assumed.
I don't know. Have I?
Yeah.
I have? Okay, yeah. Apparently I have.
Okay. I'm still going to help her out because it doesn't seem like she knew what she was working
In
with.
Savannah?
So.
In Savannah? Okay.
Hi, I'm your personal tour guide.
I'm
better than him.
And very witty. So spread out. Don't go in between the vehicles. Like, that's the biggest pet peeve I have at this location, because people get weirded out about their cars. So definitely stay away from cars. I'm going to be working with Steven here, who was here 2.5 hours ago, so I can show him how to use his device. And then, of course, if you want to hang out until I'm done with him, so that way you're not wandering around by yourself.
Don't call people loud. Just call them
Did it
loud.
make everybody laugh?
Yeah.
I think it did. They're
Yeah.
going to remember that. But have some fun. Show her how to use that thing. Show her where the mute button is.
You're telling me I gotta be smart and sarcastic and
Yes,
funny?
all at the same time.
Oh.
All right, so have you seen any numbers move around on that guy yet?
So, the blue button is yeah. It's the last one. Yeah. You also have a tour guide that doesn't know left and right, but is yet an answer.
I feel like I've heard like some songs, some song lyrics and stuff. Have you heard songs?
Did you ask questions?
No, not yet.
Oh,
What was I supposed to ask?
About
what happened to the mansion?
What happened to the mansion? What?
Ask the same question again.
What happened to the mansion?
Dangerous.
Laundry.
Laundry?
Dangerous laundry, that's what happened.
Later. Run.
Run?
Or one.
Or one?
Yeah.
What,
Don't think of everything as negative.
what happened to the mansion? What year did the mansion disappear?
It was magic. That's what happened. Too deep. I couldn't hear it.
What happened to the mansion on this site?
Continue.
Some Whitney Houston. You gonna ask your questions?
Same one.
You got, yeah.
What happened to the mansion? Why? Why?
Did something bad happen on this site?
You shouldn't ask yes or no questions.
Shouldn't ask what?
Yes or no questions.
Oh.
What happened here? Walk to another part.
I don't know. Think so? What happened to the mansion?
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know.
Came through.
That just came through. I don't know.
Danger. Why? I don't.
And then I don't know.
What are we asking?
What happened?
What happened to the mansion?
Eliza, tell us what happened to your beautiful home. Long what? Make sure you save that list. Eliza, tell us what happened to your home that was here. Eliza, you just celebrated something. Can you tell us what you just celebrated? See how you're not going to hear as much as the other one? The other one's literally, like, there's no stopping it. Like, all those little breaks you're getting. She's not getting all of those. So she's getting everything constantly. And it's on the same speed as yours. It's just, it's attempting to break out anything that's not a voice.
You made it.
Eliza, tell us what you just celebrated. Anything crazy out of the camera? Again, it's not always a real-time catch. That's why we record everything. I send the spliced video like together as one to YouTube, so that way you guys can watch it however you want to. I watch it on a pretty big computer screen, like watching that thing in real time. Like I usually just set it up and leave the room. Anything above 13 and a half?
Yeah, 16.4.
Okay. Any colors? Purple? Yeah, purple. 16.4.
What happened here on this site?
Anything else on there? Just a long? Should be separated by location. Go to the new place, just type in. It's fun when she comes along because I don't have to write as many notes down. Put her to work.
Oh no, typing. Using my phone.
We're going to give this another minute. We're not getting a whole lot other than the readings that he's getting. Like he's gotten up to 16, and average for this location is about 18 to 22. So he's not even up to the average yet, but those numbers are actually really high for other locations. So he's gotten up to a 16. We're probably just missing things in real time, especially from Maline's device because she keeps pulling it in and out of her ear. So, but I'm going to give them another minute, see what they got going on, and then I'll pull this together and get you guys all the answers. And tell you why we cut this one a little short, because this one can get negative.
What happened to the mansion here? Did it say help? Did it say help? Oh. Eliza, what happened here?
Should I mute that?
It's okay.
Should I mute it? Unmute it now?
No, because I'm going to be talking.
Oh, okay.
We'll unmute it here in a few minutes. Anything specific? All right. We don't necessarily need the REM pod in here, so you can hit that white button in the back. It's going to be more about the numbers. If we get anything above, like I'd say a 4 in this location, just because we do have some electrical poles around us, we don't see anything too crazy around here, but just kind of keep an eye on it as we go through the history.
Do I keep this?
You can push that in. So, as you can see, it's a very popular spot. There's only one of the tour down here, thankfully. When they do come down this way, because they can't go that way, we'll just kind of split the seas and let them pass through. By all means, get some footage down here for sure. But welcome to Philadelphia Alley. This place used to be called Dueller's Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. So like take 10 paces, turn and shoot kind of duels. We all tell the story of one specific duel, including that tour down there, because we can prove that it actually occurred. However, you're ghost hunting, which means you're not going to get the campfire ghost story from me. You're going to get some of the deeper details, so that way you know what you're actually listening for tomorrow morning when you guys get your recording back. Most people focus on me anyway during this time it's still recording. So here's how the story goes. There's a doctor that moves down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. He moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. She has an attorney that's helping her out with all of the cash. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money, so he tells Amanda, get rid of the doctor. He's trying to go after your money. To prove that he's not, Dr. Ladd moves down here to Charleston, and the coachman that brought him into town set him up to be robbed and killed. It wasn't a good start to his day in Charleston. So somebody was walking by. His name was Ralph Isaacs, local guy. Not actually from here, but he lived here a long enough to have a lot of friends. And I stop on Ralph because he has the same initials as where the doctor came from. So Rhode Island, Ralph Isaacs. So we do get the letters RI here a lot, and I do actually have an electronic Ouija board. It's a new device that they just created, and it's part of the this is part of the reason why I bought it, was this location here. But anyway, Ralph tells the doctor, dude, you don't want to stay here. I know this guy. He's going to try to kill you. So he's like, I got some friends at 59 Church Street. You can stay there, rent a room, and you'll be safe and good to go. The number 59 shows up on spirit boxes a lot here. So Dr. Ladd takes him up on the offer. They become friends. The longer the doctor stays here, the more money he's making. He's proving his point that he's not after Amanda's money. So Amanda gets wind of this, and she's moving down soon so they can get married. Dr. Ladd hears this, and he becomes known as the Whistling Doctor because he whistled all the time. It's the late 1780s. Of course he whistled all the time because that's what gentlemen did. By the way, every haunted city you're ever going to visit in the future will have a cliched whistling ghost. I'm just going to put that out there. Now, Dr. Ladd and Ralph go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. He gets better seats. That's just the way things go. We're going to talk about back there, too. I see you eyeballing it.
Yeah, I just
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff
saw
back
it
there.
right through the tree.
So they go see Richard III one night, and they're arguing over the new actress on the way home. Dr. Ladd thought the new actress was great. Ralph, not so much. The argument gets even more heated when Ralph is insulting the doctor's fiancée. So it gets very ugly. They go their separate ways. Told you Ralph has a lot of friends here. He goes to his friends at the newspaper, puts an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of, you're a disgrace to society, sir. Yeah, Dr. Ladd sees the ad and rebuttals with, let's go to Dueller's Alley. We're going to settle this. So they came down, they took their 10 paces, they turned, the doctor pointed his gun in the air, and he shot. He didn't want to kill his friend. He just wanted to have the courage and bravery to show up to the fight. Which is often what happens, by the way. But Ralph has his one shot. Anybody want to take a guess on where he put it? London, put your hand down. Wow, no answers?
In his head?
No, his kneecap. So the doctor didn't die either. He drops to the ground. Ralph proved his point. He's not willing to forgive. He's still pretty ticked off. So Dr. Ladd's friends pick him up, carry him home to 59 Church Street. He refuses medical treatment. He's a doctor. He probably tried to bleed out this bullet wound himself, but he dies 10 or 4 days later, depending on which version of the story you're reading. What doesn't change is his death date. So it is kind of undeterminable of when the actual duel actually occurred. So what they're telling those folks down there is as you walk through the alley, you can hear the whistles from the doctor. Do you hear how quiet it is? I know the air conditioner shut off, but it is always this quiet down here, even on a busy Saturday afternoon. So it is likely that you can hear some whistling in the background if you're going to try this on your own, because remember, tour guides can't take you all the way through here, and I'm going to explain why, because I've been kicked out of here. London was there too. She'll actually laugh at this story because it is fun. But turn on your voice recorders when you're walking through here and listen in the background, but keep in mind all the locals know this story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland or Queen Street is going to throw a whistle down the alley. We do it every single night because we pass their garage on the way here. So we actually have to pass the alley every single night that we're here. When London's down here from Myrtle Beach, we always race to see who's going to throw the whistle first. I usually win. So, yeah, doesn't count now, counts later. Here's how I got kicked out of here. This is the fun part of the story. This alley didn't always come all the way through. It actually shut off on this end, about halfway between us and Cumberland Street, because this is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. It used to be called Cow Alley. The word cow actually shows up here a lot, ironically. But anyway, which means those bricks down on the other side, way down at the end, are older than those bricks. Obvious reasons, because they weren't there. So those bricks on that end are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child down there and fingerprint swipes off to the left. I used to take my groups all the way through here before I knew where my boundaries were allowed to go. So one night, November 26th of 2020, yes, very specific date, we're going to get to that, we're going through, and my entire group decides to stop and huddle around that brick with the handprint, trying to get a reading out of it. I treat that brick the same way I do a grave. That kid is not staring at that brick in the afterlife. Trying to scurry them along because they're outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. It's considered a residential area where tours are not allowed to be after certain hours. Yeah, he come out screaming. She thought it was great because I'm getting screamed at. So we moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't work Thanksgiving. Why? I worked in retail management for over 20 years, mainly for Walmart. You can feel my pain at this point. Yes, I'm never working another Thanksgiving ever. So the day after that, I got a phone call asking me to go down halfway, which is what we're allowed to do, or to reroute my group. I decided it wasn't fair for my groups of 10 to be working around 20 to 60 other people, which is normally what's down here in the summertime. So I decided to reroute that night. And what I told my group was that I didn't really believe in the story we were about to go into. And I'm a vampire guy, not a pirate person. We're going to be discussing pirates next. Before we left, somebody heard the name Anne on a spirit box. What I didn't tell that group was that we were going to be investigating the female pirate Anne Bonny. So it's kind of like, damn it. Okay, we'll see what happens. We go up there. I told what little bit I knew about pirates at the time. Somebody else heard the number 300 come out of their spirit box, and I don't know what it means in real time. So I did the research the next day. We were there on November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. So we were there on the exact 300-year anniversary of her pirate trial. I do not find that coincidental. I'm one of those people where it's too much that goes on for me to count anything as coincidence. So I've read a crap ton of pirate books ever since then, more than I ever wanted to in my entire lifetime, trying to piece together a factual investigation on pirate lore. You guys are lucky I have a master's degree in creative writing, trying to piece it all together. So when we get up there, everything is based off a minimum of 2 resources. That's it. And it is a space where we will be able to spread out a little bit more than what we're doing now. I know you're not listening, but I am going to check the word list. Have you had any numbers show up here? I know you've been kind of focused on me.
Not any high numbers.
No high numbers? Okay. It says scattered. Oh, look at that. The word Thanksgiving. I can't make this stuff up, guys. I promise you.
What time was it at?
That was 9:43.
It's 9:50.
So,
Probably right before you started talking about it.
right, probably as we were walking in here. We also have the name Zoe, which we can talk about Zoe later on if something else pops up. Sometimes things take us in a different direction. We just have to kind of see like which things are actually moving around. But I can't make up the word Thanksgiving down here, and it's probably the dead neighbor now. No, I'm kidding. That would be funny if he actually died, though, and he's like, coming through, and London's freaking out. So you've been recording this whole time for us? Perfect. It's funny that they're still down there. This is not a lengthy story. I don't know what the hell he's talking about down there. So the fact that you haven't been listening, we don't have any high numbers. Again, we could get bleed over from this location at the next stop when we're talking about pirates. So kind of keep that in mind when you're listening into your spirit boxes. Just like at the Pinckney Mansion, we could have got bleed over from Big John's and vice versa. So again, when they're that close together, you just kind of never know where things are going to pop up out of. So any crazy questions about duels that I might be able to answer? I do a lot of research, guys. You can take advantage. It's cool. Otherwise, you're going to take advantage of me at the pirate story. I know it. So let's go. I've got a million stories up there, too. You can definitely unmute it along the way.
Unmute it?
Yeah, let's do this. Get you working in between spaces. That way everybody looks at you weird.
Yeah, I know. We got some weird looks in the parking lot.
Yeah, we get those.
You too.
because you were overlooking the wall and kind of wondering what was over there.
Mm-hmm.
So that gate I was standing in front of, guys, like that was. Remember that the alley didn't go all the way through. So if there was a loser to a duel, they would actually go through that gate because it was a shortcut over the courtyard to get to the cemetery by St. Philip's. So that's why that gate is there. The gate was put there in like the early 1900s, but the archway was definitely there during the 1700s. So just wanted to point that out. I forgot to kind of go over that. You know, I seemed like looking over,
Yeah.
like, what the heck is over there? If anybody's a picture taker of stars, it doesn't get any clearer than Orion's belt by
Hey.
It's actually clear.
It's cool.
like that.
This guy's like perfectly clear.
Oh, there. It wasn't turning on. I
Yeah,
did.
you fucking hand it to me like I don't know what the fuck to do with that. You're trying to hand it to me like I don't.
No, I was making sure it was on.
Years I usually throw out if they're recent, like 2022, 2023. They usually throw those out because they're too
That
easy.
church
and all
is
over
crazy
the place.
looking.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. That's what I was trying to figure out, if that's the one that I've been to. Like, it was familiar to me, so I was trying to picture like where I was.
Gene, did you get anything out of your spirit box?
No.
All static?
Yeah.
Sucks. So hoping you get something in between. Welcome to other ghost tours, everybody. They're usually really, really large. Alright, so welcome to the Powder Magazine. So we're going to go through pirate history here, and then we're going to spread out and work like just what we did at the Pinckney Mansion. The Philadelphia Alley thing is just kind of like an in-between space because we do get a lot of activity from it, even just kind of stirring things up over there. We're going to be discussing that little tiny building over there with the crosses on it. Those are not crosses, those are earthquake bolts. If you're not familiar with earthquake bolts, if we have another one, like what we did in 1886, which we haven't, the one I mentioned earlier, this is South Carolina, we're not supposed to have earthquakes, we're supposed to have hurricanes. But anyway, those are turnbuckles. You can turn those turnbuckles after an earthquake, and it's supposed to tighten the building back up to stop it from, getting any further damage from the earthquake. It's a great idea, it just doesn't work. David's looking like, yeah, I'm not really sure about that.
I'm thinking
Seeing that
about
kind of like the lip pout, like, yeah, I don't know about that one. The reason I bring them up is because that's the first set of earthquake bolts that Charleston ever put in. Why? That's the oldest government building we have. That was finished in 1713, which is exactly why we're here. This building was being constructed at the same time that Anne Bonny was coming to Charleston to start a new life. This building took 10 years to build. Does that sound like our government? Small building, 10 years? No, not at all. But anyway, our story begins in 1708. The young lady moves here from Ireland. Her name is Anne Cormac at the time. She comes here with her father and their father's mistress. The mistress turns out to be Anne's mother. You guys with me so far? There's a lot of twists in this one. The three of them are running away from Anne's father's angry wife. How pissed off was she that she got to leave Ireland to come here? But anyway, they land in Georgetown. That's between us and Myrtle Beach. Dad bought a plantation. Mom died pretty quickly. So that means he's sending young Anne down here to be able to sell anything from the plantation to keep things afloat, which is why we're here. This is a building that would be familiar to her time. This is what I call a familiar ghost. It's like using a toy to attract a child ghost. It's the same mentality. This is a hit or miss location where they're going to have a lot going on or nothing, just so you guys know. It's one of those spaces. So hopefully we don't struggle and Malene gets the gist of that spirit box and we get more out of her. But anyway, back to Anne Bonny. So kind of backtrack a little bit. Back in Ireland, they said she was kind of a badass all on her own when she was little. At 7, 8, 9 years old, remember this is pirate lore, no numbers are ever exact, they say she killed one of her servants with a knife to the belly. So at times we'll get the term servant, knife, and belly all in the same evening. Very interesting indeed. But anyway, fast forward. Building's done in 1713. By 1715, pirates are coming through town, and Anne is stoked. She's about 16, 17 years old at this time, and she's going to fall in love because she wants to earn her freedom, just like a man. It's a man's world at this point. This is kind of how things go. First guy. Yes, I said first. There's a handful. We're going to go through them all. First guy is James Bonny. You already see where this one's going, right? Dad didn't approve, filthy pirate. They ran away to Jamaica. They got married. Anne Cormac becomes Anne Bonny, the famous female pirate. However, James Bonny is not Captain Jack Sparrow that she was hoping for. This guy is a privateer. He's a spy for the British. He's a coward in her eyes. This is not who she wants, but she's stuck. She does fall in love a few years later. John Rackham, a.k.a. Calico Jack. This is literally the person they based your Captain Jack Sparrow character off of for your Disney movies. So this is the guy. Yeah, this is definitely who she wants. He has his own ship. He has a crew, and Anne wants to be part of it. Can't put a girl on a pirate crew. Does anybody know why?
It's like bad for women on sea.
It's bad luck. You were almost there. Thank you for keeping it kind of family friendly.
Ah.
I get a lot of different answers to that. So, and you looked at London too. I was kind of like, wait a minute, where's she going with this? So anyway, he does make a deal with her. If you dress like a guy and look like my crew, you could be part of the crew. But you're going to be a female in my quarters. She's okay with this because Dad used to cross-dress her as a boy to hide her away from, his wife back home. So she's like, she knows it's a man's world. She's good. She's a pirate. But let's put two and two together. She's a female in his quarters. She's eventually going to get pregnant. You can't have a pregnant pirate dude on the crew. Somebody's going to figure it out, right? So, and then, stop it. But anyway, so he drops her off in Cuba. Go have the baby over here, come back later, we'll figure it out. She goes and has the baby, but returns with no baby. We have no idea what happened to the child. No amount of my research can figure it out. So she comes back dressed as a female to make Jack even more mad. He is pretty angry, and he did capture another pirate crew in there down below deck while she was away in Cuba. She's going to go flirting with that pirate crew to make him even more mad. So we're on guy number 3, in case you lost track. Guy number 3 turns out to be a female, dressed like a guy to be part of the pirate crew that Calico Jack captured. Yes, 2023. So, we'll give you this one. So, this young lady's name was Mary Reed. She went by Mark Reed to become a pirate. Her and Mary became friends, possibly lovers. We're not going to really ever know for sure, but they became friends. The British find out where they are. They send an entire fleet to take down one pirate ship. Rumor has it that Anne and Mary were the only 2 pirates not drunk enough to come up and fight the fleet of ships with their 1-bullet flintlocks. Remember the type of guns they had. They probably didn't know how to use the cannon ship, by the way. Anyway, 2 ladies are not going to take on a whole fleet of ships. They get arrested. And as they're being arrested, she looks at her captain, Calico Jack. She says, "You should have fought like a man instead of being hanged like a dog." The word dog shows up here a lot, just so you know. The judge wants to see the 2 quote-unquote men that fought back so valiantly after he's tried and hung Calico Jack and the pirates that wouldn't fight. So the 2 ladies go in front. He doesn't care that they're female because they did reveal their gender. He's still going to hang them because they're pirates to him. "We plead our bellies," was the last thing they screamed out, because you can't hang a pregnant woman in 1720. It's illegal. So he sends them both back to jail, delays the hanging. Dad is still here in South Carolina with all of his Irish money. He bails her out, brings her home. She remarries. That's husband number 2, but guy number 4. We're going to count Mary. We don't really know. She has 4 kids, dies at the age of 84. Yes, very abrupt. Mary Reed died a year later, 1721, in that Jamaican jail from whatever pirates die from in a Jamaican jail. Make it romantic for yourselves. Most books will tell you that it was fever or something very simple. I'm going to say it was scurvious and nasty and gross and bumpy, and you make your own assumptions. Again, make it romantic for yourself. 2 questions I left out of here. I'm not going to give you a whole plethora of stuff like what we did at the Pinckney Mansion, because pirates are a little bit more easygoing. I kind of control the prominent English woman over there, so that way nobody's poking the bear. Over here, I left out the name of her parents. That's the father and the mistress. So I know those for certain. We also know the name of Calico Jack's ship that Anne was part of, so you can ask for that as well. This is a weird space. Again, we're going to either get a lot or nothing at all. Yours is all about the motion sensor, so you're going to turn that back on. Don't expect a whole lot of numbers unless you're close to those bushes up there from the electrical poles, so don't get excited. So again, I'm debunking things ahead of time. I got a 45! No, you don't! So that's somebody else's electricity. So again, yours is all about the motion, because you're going to ask her what her hair color was, and she's hopefully going to show you. This is the only place where I've ever gotten a direct red on command. So she did have red hair. Irish woman, green eyes. Kind of put that together, right?
I thought she had blue hair.
No. So have some fun with this space. We're going to spread out. We'll probably know within the first 5 to 7 minutes if we have actually anything going on. Listen deep. The funniest things you can hear are usually the things that are going to make sense to us. So we often hear the song "Girls Just Want to Have Fun." Yeah, we get that one a lot. And then we actually had Material Girl the other night at the same time. So somebody heard Material Girl on one, and then Girls Just Want to Have Fun on the other one. I thought it was absolutely hysterical. So again, have fun with this space, and then we'll end over there by that wall. I'll be bouncing back and forth, kind of seeing what's going on. Nice slow motions out of yours. You're like the best cameraman ever. The belly shots are the best. So just so you know, like those are the easiest ones to watch. So you wouldn't believe, like if I hand that to a kid, because I do get a lot of little kids on here, it's the craziest stuff. Like they're a YouTuber out here. And it's like, oh my God, I can't even watch this.
What's up, guys?
An influencer.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, let's spread out, have some fun, stay away from the cars. Let's do this.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
Do
get
you?
that thing unmuted.
Ask again.
Do you know?
All right, what are our questions?
You can
Parents?
go after the parents' names. You can ask whatever you want to, as long as it's not a yes/no question. But
Yeah.
parents' names and the name of Calico Jack's ship.
Name of the ship. That's what I know. Okay.
What is the name of the ship? I don't know if I like this spot.
Keep walking.
I don't know. What is the name of the ship? What are the parents' names? That is quite the creepy looking church.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that church so creepy looking?
What is the name of the ship?
Oh,
What was that?
I think you should ask her. Maybe there was. Hey, it's a woman, so maybe she wants to talk to you.
What is the name of the ship?
Something's trying to come through for you.
What are the parents' names?
What is the name of the ship? Some dark energy. Remember all that? Remember all that crazy shit in that houses, that warehouse in Savannah?
Yeah.
Oh, that place was fucked.
What is the name of the ship? What are the parents' names?
Got anything coming?
A couple of things that we thought were kind of, but it wasn't clear enough.
It wasn't clear.
Yeah, but it seemed to be more responsive to her than me. Gender thing, maybe.
One of the first things we ever got out of this location, was I'm packing things up. This used to be my finale, like where I would end things. I'm take it from the person, pirate, plain as day. Like, not part of like, the Pittsburgh Pirates won, like part of a sentence. Like, it was just a statement, pirate. Like, it was a light night, like kind of like what it is right now. So it was like a big piece. And cool thing is it was next to an audio from video. So we had the audio from that. And we all heard it. This a lot different than your other ghost tours you've taken?
We did something similar to this in Savannah years ago. It was just one site, but it was with kind of this equipment. And
Oh, so you're probably at the Sorrel Weed House then?
it's not like a warehouse where they store trolleys, but it was a house that burned down and three girls got killed.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of it, but yeah, like three people got murdered there on the site. It was pretty active.
It was freaky.
I had some stuff going on there.
Yeah, it was interesting.
So I've been through there.
Yeah, we don't like the history walks.
Sorry.
No, not you. No, just the only hit. No, we like to try this kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a little more fun.
But that was a history. Like they talked about
I know,
the
but like
family.
it's not
and
just like these
murders
other
and-
like
yeah,
I don't know, we just,
But it was like a story about some family
And there was a mistress involved. And
yeah.
Well, when I wrote my piece on it, they got wind of it, and their fan club. Oh, sorry, throwing pens at you, man. They got angry because I called her a mistress. and they asked me to take it down. I'm like, you know what? I know my rights. I can interpret this however I want to. And I left it up there. Like, the Throw Weed House got in touch with me and asked me if I would take it down based on what their fans were saying. And I'm like, no. And they're like, we know that you're right. You don't have to. We're just asking you nicely. I'm like, I'm not going to do it. Absolutely not. Because that's my interpretation. It was definitely a mistress. When you're sleeping with one of your servants, yeah, and you're married man, she's a mistress. Sorry. What do you two have?
Not really picking up on much.
We don't have anything.
Wow, you guys are really struggling with that one.
You did pick up, and can you say protect her?
Get a protector.
Protector. Okay. Well, it's something. Again, you kind of have to make a big giant grab bag to see what's going to stick and see what kind of ties up. I haven't looked at my word list in a few minutes to see what's going on. Protector or protect her?
Protect her.
No, protector.
No,
Protector, like
her.
one word. Like
Yeah.
what person? A protector. Okay.
Yeah.
I was also just testing London on her knowledge of the next location because she's only been there once. When she's going to be doing the Estes method, I don't want her to know much. So that's the whole point of it. You guys are going to, I'll explain it once we get there. But we're going to work as a team, and she's going to have like earbuds in from her own spirit box running really fast with a set of noise canceling headphones over top of that. So she's not going to know what we're asking, and she's just going to repeat whatever she hears. So that way, I don't know if you guys have seen that on your TV shows, but it's a pretty common practice now. So I kind of want to see, like, with this new location, can we get better answers than what we've been getting over the past week or two? But she doesn't know much about the situation. Like, you guys won't know much. But I'll be able to verify anything that comes through. Wow, nothing going on at all. Any readings at all? Motion? No colors? Nothing? Let me check my word list. If there's nothing going on there, I don't want to waste our time. FM. Oh. Wow. Spinners are coming. I have words relative to our next space. That's so weird. It happens, I've seen it, but we're actually like a good 3 blocks away from it. You got anything? You guys got the volume up, right? Okay.
It's all the way up.
It's way up.
I gotta ask.
It's actually loud.
All right, let's go to the wall. I'll give you guys the simple answers since there's really nothing, absolutely nothing.
It's a residence. Like, really?
What was that?
Real Catherine?
Real Catherine?
Is that what that said? Is that what you heard?
Hurry in.
Inspiration?
Hearing some voices.
It was a pretty clear inspiration.
Any other terms?
Inspiration, and then I think
Like
Real
real captain or real. It's either real captain or real captain, maybe. It was, I couldn't get the last one, but
maybe it was Captain.
what did they say? Warning us? Buildings are just wild.
Huh?
Buildings.
I know. They're gorgeous. Look at that. I love all the buildings down here.
All of them.
They're beautiful.
All of them.
All of them. I mean, the house
Even
is
the
down.
powder museum.
You thought you would think of that.
What?
Powder museum. See where all the uniforms and all that stuff.
Oh, a little busy.
Should turn around
Yeah.
towards. Oh, this is the center. This is where I know where we are.
Tour Group Central.
Huh?
Tour Group Central.
Yeah.
Oh shit, ton of ghost tours out here.
I was gonna say it's like
It's a
tourist
spot
central.
tonight.
Normally, by the time I get here, this place is wiped out, so they'll probably clear out pretty soon. What did you guys hear along the way? Getting footage in here. All right, so welcome to Tour Central, apparently. Wow. So the first time I came here, well, it's usually a starting point for all of these guys. That's why I'm surprised there's so many people here. Usually, like I said, I don't know what time it is, but normally by the time I get here, this place is wiped out. We got the whole place to ourselves. So we're still going to spread out. But the first time I came here, guys, I had no idea what to expect. I'm sure you noticed all the different monuments around here. You know, I know it's a big popular tourist spot, and there's got to be something going on. So we came here, and all the clues that I had that first night led to this man right here behind me. I know we're looking at the back of his head, but that's only because there's a large tour group on the other side. This is Henry Timrod. Henry Timrod was an author and a poet. Lived in the 1800s, and he obviously was born in Charleston, so we're going to start with that. And he wanted to fight in the Civil War. He was too sick to fight, because by the time he got to the battlefield, his comrades realized he was too sick to fight, and they sent him home. And they said, go be the voice of the war. And they knew he was a writer. So he started writing poetry about what was actually going on the battlefield and in the hearts and minds of Charlestonians nearby. So he became known as the Laureate of the Confederacy. A couple of years after the war, he's still writing. He's getting certain things published. He has a son that dies pretty young, soon after. So, a pretty big tragedy. 2 years after that, he's still sick, and his collegiate friend calls him up and says, you know what, you've been having a rough go. You got kicked out of the war, your son died. Why don't you come out here to my cottage, and you can come continue to write for the piece that you're working for with the papers. So he goes out there to write, and that's where he writes his last words. His last words were, beholder of brief mortality. In essence, person with short life. And then he coughs, and it lands on the page. He had tuberculosis. So it's a blood stain on the page. I'm going to show you the blood stain, but it looks like a man writing on the last page that he ever wrote. This page is on display at the Charleston Library Society 1 day a year on Halloween only. They call it the Blood Book. So we do get certain things about Henry in this location. Obviously, what I got that first night was the year of his birth, 1821. Came through on a spirit box the minute we entered the space. Of course, one of those pieces, I'm like, I have no idea who that belongs to. And then we had the name Henry show up and the name Tim. Remember, his name is Henry Timrod. So again, I kind of took that as like, I know I've heard this story before on another tour, because yes, I do research on these guys. But I knew I heard it before, and we keep getting more and more terms, including his wife's name, his son's birthday, and the age of his son at death. So let me show you what that blood book page looks like, and we'll kind of take things from there. Once things start to clear out a little bit, we'll probably go over to the other side where the other tours aren't really hanging out, and we'll do this Estes method, and I'll explain it further. So this is the page that he coughed on. So you can even see the last line. It says, "Beholder of brief mortality, he coughs, and it looks like a man writing, and he dies." So, yeah, I know, kind of a creepy story to end with, which is what I love about this. Again, I don't know a whole lot about this man. I've been reading his work just so I can kind of get a feel for him. He is a very shy and timid guy. He's not a very tall person. 2-3 weeks ago now, I had a gentleman actually bring an SLS camera on the tour. If you're not familiar with that, that's the stick figures. So they kind of map things out with one of like those Xbox cameras. So we had 8 minutes of full activity right here next to the statue. And when I say activity, things on command. Henry, if it's okay if I read a stanza from one of your poems, raise your right hand. And then he would drop it. That kind of interaction. 8 full minutes. Here's how it ended. We had one female in that group that night. She went over to the side of the wrought iron gate, reached her hand over, and said, "Henry, reach out and shake my hand." And he disappeared. And we never got him back. And we did all angles and tested it. Like, I walked around this to make sure everything was legit, and it wasn't coming from the wrought iron gate. The reason why he probably disappeared at that point, you have to remember the times that he lived in. It was probably disrespectful for a woman to ask to shake his hand. So again, we never got him back. Weird things we found so far in here, obviously the questions I gave you, but it's all about your device. We get triple-digit readings in this location, particularly in grassy knolls around the location. So when we go over to that other spot, it's usually one of the main ones, but there's some nights we get nothing. Other nights we find it in another spot. Again, it's all over the place. So based on what you guys are finding on your spirit boxes, it might be somebody else going on here. There's a lot of monuments in here. So we found other clues to other pieces, but it's mainly Henry because we've been directing everything towards Henry. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to head over to the other side and see if other tours are over there and get London set up, and then I'll call you guys all over after you guys listen in for a few minutes and see what's going on. Keep in mind, all these people are going to be staring at you because you got the weird noisemaker.
So I turned it off because there was all these tours.
And they're going to be staring at you too, because that thing's going to go off berserk, just so you know, the more you move around. Keep in mind, keep that reset button going, and just keep it moving around. Again, we get some activity up here. But I do want you guys to kind of get a gist of it. So go ahead and tour and come back and meet me in London on this side, and we'll kind of see what's going on. Keep in mind all the numbers that you're getting. All right? Have some fun. Let's do this. This is our last
Turn it on.
Yeah, keep that belly shot going. That's
Fire it up.
I think I'm going to give you a job after that, man. Like, just put it on the camera.
Just shake my hands out. What was that?
Oh, couldn't tell. I can't understand it what they're saying. It gets so loud. I don't want to bother that.
No, they're over there.
Huh?
They're over there. Start asking it questions.
What questions was I supposed to ask this
I don't know.
Huh?
Henry, are you here? Can you tell us something about you?
Henry, how did you die?
Henry, can you show us a sign that you're here?
Henry, I brought some new friends with me. Give us an obvious sign that you're here. Some reception, that's good. important?
Not.
Henry, why don't you tell us the name of your son? If you don't want to talk about your son, tell us something about you, like maybe how old you were when you died in Colombia. He's pretty young. That's the reason why I'm going after that. I'll let you guys work. I'm going to go see what I can get out of that on that one.
Henry, tell us the name of a piece that you've written.
So I'm buying some ghost equipment tonight. Every time I do this,
You should have brought your stuff. You have stuff, don't you?
I had the shitty like, meter or whatever.
Oh, you do?
I did. I don't even know.
You don't
I want
have
one.
any
I
more?
want one of those. Fucking camera's crazy. Henry, can you tell us something about yourself? Caregiver? Matter? Henry, can you tell us something about yourself? Who is here with us? Who is here tonight? Who is here?
Show us a sign that you're here with us.
Can you tell us something about yourself? Is there anyone here with us? Sorry. Who is here? Who is with us? I want to watch some fucking ghost hunters. Which paid service is that shit on? Like Discovery? Not paying for that anymore. Yeah, dog. Henry, you a bitch.
Have you guys heard anything since I've been away?
Mm-mm.
Alright, so let me kind of explain how this works a little bit further. So, where's the spirit box? Alright, so the spirit box we're using is an older model that you guys normally see on your TV shows. It's an SP7. It's inside what we call a Faraday wallet. So what a Faraday wallet does is it takes any of the reception coming into the spirit box and blocks it because it's kind of lined with a little metal lining. So hopefully we're not going to get radio chatter, but actual disembodied voices. And we're not going to know that because London's going to be the only person to be able to hear it. So it doesn't record anything. What we are going to do is we're going to ask questions because she's going to put both earbuds in and then put these noise-canceling headphones over top. So she won't be able to know what we're asking. Normally you would blindfold a person during this and kind of take away all sensory deprivation as much as possible. So that way she kind of focuses on just what her hearing is actually giving us. So hopefully with us asking questions, so kind of think of questions that you want to ask Henry, and let's hope we can get some answers. Pop everything in. Let's do this.
Cool.
You guys get how this works, right?
See you in about, I don't know, 10 minutes?
We'll see.
Okay.
See if we're getting actual answers.
See you later.
I'm going to go back here, so that way she doesn't know what I'm asking. And I'll be writing everything down that she gets, so I can see if anything actually pops up. So what do you guys want to know? What do we want to go after first? She's just going to shout out whatever she hears. She doesn't know if we're asking questions or not.
So, how old? 600.
So we want to know how old Henry Timrod was when he died?
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking? Henry, tell us how old you were when you died.
Go downtown.
Tell us how old you were when you died. We want a
Can
number.
you hear me?
And how long were he's sick before he died? He was sick, right?
He was sick.
Yeah.
He had tuberculosis. Can you tell us what the name of your famous book is here in Charleston? Gene, I thought
With
you'd be
us.
spitting out. We want to know the name of the book that you wrote that's famous here in Charleston.
Glad.
What are you glad about? You guys got
What's
nothing?
Do you have any regrets?
Henry Timrod, we're inviting you to talk to us through the box on London's lap. I'm going to have her speak louder so I can hear. I need you to speak up a little bit.
What?
I need you to speak up just a hair so I can hear you.
Okay. Believers.
We are believers. I think you're here. And I think you want to talk to us, but I know you're a shy person.
Sure.
What do you want to tell us? We asked a couple of questions. If you had any regrets, how old you were, what the name of your book was. You can answer any of those questions to prove that you're actually here chatting with us. I've been reading your work. As a fellow writer, it's pretty damn good. What she's doing is not easy, just so you guys know. Like, you guys
Are you?
been listening to spirit boxes all night. She's not getting much, so we're blocking any kind of radio signals. Henry, if you're here, tell us something specific so we know it's you. Are you still listening, by the way?
Oh, you want me to listen?
Probably should be. The answers might be coming to you.
Some new.
Henry, tell us something specific about your life. Tell us the name of a family member, your own name, the name of your book, if you had regrets. That was a yes/no question, by the way, David. Just pointing that out.
Fail.
How many books did he write?
It was mainly poetry.
Now.
So it wasn't necessarily that he wrote books. It's just his collection of poetry.
Should have asked, what do you regret? So, yes, there you go.
What are your regrets? Always a way to reword it. Come on, Henry, give us a little bit more. I'm checking my word list a minute.
Can we ask if there's anyone else here?
We can do that.
Who else is with us?
Give us your name. Got a lot of boxes here, but we mainly want you to use the one on the lap of the person sitting. This is London. She's listening for your message. Who is here with us?
Nick.
Nick?
You're living your best.
I am living my best life.
You gotta.
I gotta what? We want to hear from you. We want your name so we know who we're talking to. You know my name. It's Nick. I'm here every damn night. Got the word swell. Gee, that's swell. Who else do we have here? We need your name. Aline, anything? Do you not like all the people that pass through here?
Every day.
Every day. Can you tell us what church is nearby? St. Michael's over here, just so you guys know. We're just trying to get some proof that you're actually here and that we're communicating with you. Wow, she's really not hearing much. Wonder if we have it going too fast. So he was 38 years old when he passed away, just so you guys know like what that specific number was. I don't know if the man had any regrets. Probably just pissed off he was sick all the time. His son's name was Willie, and he died at 9 months old, and he is buried right next to his father. His wife's name is Katie. The interesting thing is that while we were at the Powder magazine, the name Katie showed up on my spirit box along with the word poem. He was a poet. So again, it's almost like they were predicting we were on our way. So it's kind of like, damn it, now we have nothing. We didn't even get the high EMF spikes that I was expecting. Like, we checked the normal corners and absolutely nothing.
Everyone.
Everyone what? I'm getting a little irritated because you're not giving me anything specific. Everybody's gone but us. Everything she's telling me is really vague.
That's Lincoln.
That's Lincoln. Well, Henry was in the Civil War. It's kind of a stretch. What about Lincoln? I think I'm going to call it. What do you guys think? Not a whole lot going on
Final.
here. Final. I know, right? All right, so let me kind of give you the gist of what your dad is going to look like. I'm going to let